There. We're good. What's up? What's happening, people? What's happening? Hope you guys and girls are having a cool ass, sick ass Thursday. I'm cold, so I'm always wearing a sweater now. Um, let's dive into it. I'm gonna give you guys and girls some 4 tips to keep fat off. All right. So to not just to get it off, but to keep it off. So like if you ever did anything like, and I don't want to say it, but like a fat diet, or if you did, dedicate some time to losing weight, getting in shape, building muscle, and burning fat in the process, um, this live stream is pretty much going to be geared towards how to actually stay in that state of momentum and how to actually keep the fat off, right? Not just how to get it off, because again, these 4 tips that I'm going to recommend, you can still use to get the fat off, but to keep it off, that's what we're going to be talking about here in today's live stream slash mock podcast. And guys and girls, I'm going to keep it 100% honest with you. These things are not difficult. They are not difficult at all. Okay. They're not. The only thing is, the only catch is that it requires you to be ridiculously consistent and not even like you're a bodybuilder or like anything else. It just requires you to be consistent. Okay. Meaning you do it 3, 4, 5 times a week, bare minimum. Okay. Um, Homegirl on TikTok says, I just started the gym 2 weeks ago. Congratulations. Keep going. Be consistent. And actually, if you stick around, you'll find out some of the tips that will help you burn fat, but also mainly help you keep it off. Okay. So without wasting any time, I'm going to pin the title of the video up on Instagram so we know what we're talking about. And then I'm going to get the recording rolling. Then we should be rolling. And I'll be giving you guys and girls, some insight, some of my insight, that I've used with myself and my best clients on how to actually keep fat off. And of course, you can still use that to get the fat off in the first place initially. And I want you guys and girls to know that if at any point in time of this live stream of the podcast recording, you have a question, a comment, anything of the sort, just let me know, right? Message that, hit it up. Don't be a sitting duck. I don't want you guys and girls just watching this live stream and not fucking saying anything. Um, right. And at the end of this live stream, I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to get right back to you guys when it comes to your questions and your comments. So hang tight. I'm going to give you guys these 4 quick, easy tips on how to actually keep the fat off, not just to get it off, but to keep it off. Right. And then right after that, I'm going to dive right into your guys and girls' comments and questions as I normally do on my live streams. All right. So without wasting much time, let's get into it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So you know what it is, guys and girls. What's up? What's happening? Welcome to this live stream. Okay. We're going to be talking about these 4 simple steps to keep fat off, not just to get it off, but to keep it off. All right. So if you have a pad and a pen nearby, pull them out because you might want to actually jot these things down. All right. So the first thing, and it's going to be very short and sweet. It's not too crazy. Like it's very, as I said at the beginning of this live stream, it's extremely simple. The only thing you need to do is remain consistent, right? So the first thing you need to do is actually, and I like to call it a little like in a little sentence, understand that simplicity over strictness is the way to go. All right. So simplicity over strictness. What does that mean? Like, what am I talking about when I say simplicity over strictness? What I'm talking about is like most of you guys and girls that decide to get the fat off or decide to like, actually take yourself seriously and, work to get your health in a position where you're like feeling good, looking good, and all that stuff. Like, you guys go like way too ham. You guys go overboard. This is typically when you do it alone and you don't know what you're doing. What I find is you guys and girls go overboard and you like only eat salads and you like cut out rice and you cut out bread and you don't eat like junk food or anything like that. Like you completely change your eating habits. And we both know that like you're fighting yourself when you do that because you don't really want to do it. And if you're fighting yourself when you do it, it's not necessarily sustainable because you're going to get down to that point, lose all that fat just to get to a point where it's like, fuck, I haven't had a pizza in like 5 months. I haven't had a burger in like 3 months, whatever it is. And then you're going to give into a craving, which is going to, snowball into something else you don't really want it to snowball into, which is essentially you gaining back the weight that you lost. Right. Which is why I always preach simplicity over strictness whenever I'm dealing with a client or even myself. But the thing is this, guys and girls, Simplicity over strictness is definitely where it's at. It's definitely worth it. However, you do need some discipline at the beginning of your fat loss journey if you truly want to be successful. And like when I say some discipline, I literally mean just some discipline. You don't need to be eating salads every day for every meal. You don't need to be, uh, you know, cutting out rice, cutting out bread, and holding yourself back from actually eating foods that you enjoy. That's unnecessary. But the discipline of not being able to eat these things, knowing, you're being serious with your actual intentions when it comes to burning fat, that's a plus. Like to have that self control is good. It's great. But you don't need to completely avoid pizza, burgers, wings, ribs, whatever you like, even if it's junk food. You don't need to completely avoid it if you want to lose fat and keep it off. You need to have a system that's sustainable, right? And allows you to enjoy the foods that you like. So essentially, you don't have to eat salads, cut out rice, cut out bread, and torture yourself, torture your taste, your tongue, like your taste buds, in order to like burn the fat. Okay, so what essentially am I talking about? What can you do yourself to actually get to a point where you feel like you can actually sustain burning fat and exercising and enjoying the foods that you like? So we're going to talk about it right now. I would say 99% of you guys and girls already know what calories are. And if you don't, that's on you. Okay. The way we work is, when I say work, I'm talking about gaining or losing fat. If you eat calories in a surplus, which is just eating more calories than that's required for your body to maintain its weight, you'll gain fat, muscle, and water, depending on how you train muscle. It's a variable. And on the flip side, okay, if you're in a caloric deficit, you're going to be losing, burning fat, water, and muscle, depending on how you train. Variables is the muscle there, right? So you'll gain or lose weight. Weight is comprised of these three things: fat, muscle, and water, based off of your caloric intake. That's just the rule. Gravity is a law, right? You jump off of a high building, you fall down, you die. It's the law, right? I don't make the rules. So everyone's sort of fixated on this sort of like calories mindset, on this calories in, calories out, which is like, it's correct. It's not wrong. But the thing, guys and girls, that I want to really bring to your attention is the fact that if you only focus on calories, you're likely going to limit yourself when it comes to your nutrition. Okay. So, what I'm talking about when I'm talking about, simplicity over strictness is learning a little bit more about macronutrients. Okay. So, when you learn a little bit more about macronutrients are protein, carbs, and fats, you will be able to create a workout, or not a workout, a nutrition protocol that you can fit other foods in that normally would be considered junk, or foods that you think are going to make you fat, like bread, like rice, whatever it is. I'll tell you this: I'm still lean. I'm shredded almost year round, fairly lean and shredded only when I compete. And I still eat Pop Tarts and Rice Krispies throughout the year. The food itself isn't bad. It's the way that you manage it and how you incorporate it. And focusing only on calories limits a lot of people to the further knowledge that they have the potential to acquire when it comes to what they're eating and how that's going to affect their body. So, for example, if you needed 2,000 calories to lose 1 pound a week, we'll say 4 pounds a month, whatever it is, you're likely going to focus on that number, 2,000 calories. What I'm asking you guys and girls to do is, that 2,000 calories is your deficit limit. You want to hit that. But don't look at the calories, look at the macronutrients, which is the protein, carbs, and fats. And that way you can organize, okay, well, I'm getting, and this is just an example, I'm getting 80 grams, 180 grams of protein, and I'm getting, say, 250 grams of carbs and about 60 grams of fats. Okay. There are so many ways to consume 80 grams of 180 grams of protein. There are so many ways to consume 250 grams of carbs. There are so many ways to consume 60 grams of fats. And it opens your mind up to a larger perspective when you look at what you can actually eat. Because let's look at it. What are some protein sources that you guys and girls know about? Chicken, fish, beef. If you're vegetarian, tempeh, soy product, right? Eggs, protein powder. These are all protein sources. And What are some carb sources that we know about? We know about rice, we know about potato, we know about bread, okay? And even the other carb sources that we don't like to actually admit, even the pizza, right? You guys and girls love pizza. Uh, Pop Tarts, desserts, right? These are carbohydrates mainly, right? And look at the fat sources. You've got avocado, you've got almonds, you've got olive oil, coconut oil. There's so many different kinds of fats. And like what I'm saying to you guys and girls is that when you open your mind up and open your brain up to a perspective of like just not thinking about a limit when it comes to calories, but using that limit to understand that you can look at the macronutrients and don't exceed that limit of calories, you can make 2,000 calories in 100 different ways, which means that yes, you can still order a pizza if your pizza is, say, 1,400, 1,200 calories, and then you get that pizza, it's here, and let's say it has a certain amount of macros. Let's say your pizza is like, I don't know, 60 grams of protein, 150 grams of carbs, and like 40 grams of fats. Now you know that that pizza has those macronutrient values. You can eat that pizza and incorporate the rest of your nutrition, your protein, carbs, and fats, macronutrients specifically, to fit in to your 2,000 calorie requirement while still hitting every single macro because you're able to balance it. As I said, the food isn't the problem, it's the way the food is managed that's the issue. Everyone just looks at calories in versus calories out, which is what it is essentially. But when you wrap your mind around macronutrients, it becomes a whole lot more sustainable and simple for you guys and girls to actually stick to on a longevity standpoint, right? Like you're more likely to lose weight and keep the fat off if you know that you can still eat the foods that you can enjoy. There's less pressure. You're not going to actually want to, we'll say, binge on certain foods that you probably shouldn't binge on because you're already incorporating them. The craving won't be as strong as if you were to only eat lettuce, cucumbers, never eat rice, never eat bread, and cut out the foods you actually enjoy. It just doesn't work long run. It's not what you want to do for the long term. So focusing on macros as opposed to calories is the second thing that I'll actually tell you guys to do out of the four things that I'd recommend when it comes to keeping fat off. The first one is simplicity over strictness, understanding that the best workout protocol or the best nutrition protocol, actually both, is the one that you can actually stick to, the one that actually includes the foods that you like, the one that you're least likely to deviate from, right? And the second thing out of the four tips to keep fat off, not just to get it off, but to keep it off, is to lean towards understanding what macronutrients are and expand your knowledge so that you can understand that there's a bunch of variety. You can make 2,000 calories in so many different ways, including pizza, including ice cream, excluding pizza and ice cream, foods that you like that your mom cooks for you. It's endless. If you understand macros, guys and girls, you will be able to fully control what you put into your body when it comes to the types of food and still be able to lose fat and drop water weight. Okay, so stop limiting yourself with the belief of, it's calories in versus calories out. I'm only going to look at the calories I'm consuming. Look at the protein, carbs, and fats that you're consuming, and allow that to be your metric. Allow that to be the new calories that you think about. You still want to respect your caloric limits, right? But understand that there are so many varieties of protein, so many varieties of carbohydrates, so many varieties of fats, and one isn't greater than the other unless we're talking about top level competitors here, which honestly, for most of you guys, it doesn't matter, right? Balance is key, and understanding that you have variety is the door. All right. So use that key to unlock that door. All right. So the third thing out of four things that I want to talk to you guys and girls about when it comes to not how to just burn fat, but to keep the fat off is to, and this is so cheesy, but it ties in with the last one, is to make a true effort in the gym. So we just spent, a couple of minutes talking about like nutrition, which is 90% of this game. If you don't have nutrition, proper, adequate nutrition, I'm just going to break it to you. Your attempt is futile at keeping the fat off, even if you burned it. But making a true effort in the gym, guys and girls, is one of the most important. Like, it's one of the most important factors when it comes to this. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because let's face it, if you are half-assing it, you're gonna get half-ass results. Okay, like you're just gonna get half-ass results. That's just what it is, right? And if you get half-ass results, you cannot expect to keep that weight off, let alone lose it in the first place. So making a true effort in the gym, and when I say in the gym, I'm not just talking about lifting, how much you lift, so on and so forth. I'm genuinely talking about the whole thing. Your stretching, your cardio, the amount that you lift, the rest time in between that, your intensity levels, right? Like everything. Make a true effort in the gym. Do not leave until you are sweating and out of breath. Like really put your foot down, get your work done on a consistent basis, which brings me to the last thing: rinse and repeat. The 4 steps to keep fat off, to keep it off. Rinse and repeat each and every single thing that I just mentioned previously. Number one, understand that simplicity over strictness is the way to go. Number two, lean towards learning about macronutrients as opposed to just calories. Number three, make a true effort in the gym. Yes, when it comes to cardio, rest times, everything, stretching. Okay. Build a routine that you can actually stick to, that you don't want to deviate from, that you don't hate. Because if you're doing something that you hate, you won't do it for long. And even if you're doing it, you won't do it full heartedly because you hate it. Right. So your nutrition has to be something that you like. Like it has to be something that you would like to follow and that you know you can sustain years and years and years after burning fat, right? And maybe you might even improve and build muscle in the process. That can happen, right? And the last but not least, the fourth step on how to keep fat off is to rinse and repeat every tip that I just said. Consistency. The longer you can be consistent, the better things will just get. And this is something that my mentor just like told me recently, or he said it on a podcast recently. He was like, um, most people, most human beings aren't consistent. Like they're just not, right? Like they're just not. And if you just decide to remain consistent, you are already winning. Like you're already winning if you decide to be consistent. Because most people won't do that. Okay. And let's not even like compare to other people because that's not what this is about. You're getting fit for you. You're dropping your fat for you. You're burning that for you. Right. So if you can understand what I just said, you'll understand that the more consistent you are, you can never lose. And that doesn't mean training 7 days a week and being perfect and never like, going a little bit over your macros or a little bit under your macros or a little bit over your calories or a little bit under your calories. It's not to be perfect, it's to be consistent. Okay. No matter how hard it is, just to be consistent. If you said you're going to do 3 days a week, fucking do 3 days a week in the gym. Bust your ass. Make a true effort in the gym as well as in the kitchen. If you said 4 days a week, live by it. Okay. If it's 5 days a week, rinse and repeat. Consistency. Because over consistency plus time equals results. Period. Just like as I said with gravity, falling off of a building, and you get on a high building, you fall off the high building, you break your leg or you die. It's the law. It's the law of gravity. That's just what happens. The same thing with the equation of time plus consistency equals results. All right. So that's it, guys and girls. I'm going to be wrapping up the podcast right now, and I'm actually going to read some of your messages here on Instagram and TikTok. So I appreciate each and every single one of you for showing up and not being a sitting duck and actually asking questions or dropping comments as I went through this live stream. So let's get to it now. Let's look at some stuff over here on TikTok first. And TikTok's always funny because I always have some random people saying some random things that just are not worth talking about on the live stream, and I won't. If it's silly, I won't talk about it. Um, okay. No, this is so weird. I'm not. No, these people are so. No. Thank you, Ali. I appreciate it. You're pretty too. Spice Prince Cam Double O. I appreciate the follow. She's laughing at protein powder. Aiden, what's up? He says swipes into life, potatoes and bread. No, you killing me, man. Homegirl says, I'm on a bulk. Right now, I eat anything. Eating salads doesn't help your gains. Eating salads can actually help your gains because of the fiber content. It may aid in your ability to digest a little bit better because you're taking in more fiber, also micronutrients. There are a lot of like good vitamins and things that are in salads that you should probably eat. Also, the water content in salads are really good for you when it comes to absorbing the carbohydrates that you actually intake. For every gram of carbohydrates, you need 3 milliliters of water to actually absorb it, and salads are an easy way, other than drinking fluids, to get that down. All right. So, interesting. I appreciate you for sharing that, though. I really do. It's better than being a sitting duck. I'm sure most people are in your shoes too. Rami, what's up? Hey, what's up? He says food is a big part of it. Hey, bro, I see you, and thank you for actually tuning in and engaging, man. She says, I almost passed out in the gym this morning, man. Killer. That's what you want, right? Make a true fucking effort. That's what's up. Make a true fucking effort. Like, that's what we're here for. I appreciate you. And Rami says the same thing. Yo, you guys are fucking rolling. I appreciate that. Put your fucking, lay down. Work. You know what I'm saying? Uh she also says, I show up 5:30 every day and it's rough, but so worth it. And you're a soldier for that. That is crazy. That's crazy. I admire your hustle. I admire your hustle. And the only reason why I'm not trying to pronounce her name is because I know I'm going to butcher it, but I think it's Raluca if I'm pronouncing it correctly. She also asks, how do I get into weight training? I'm going to give you such a blunt answer, and it's not because I'm rude, but it's literally the answer. Start. Literally just start. The numbers I would recommend, if you're looking at sets wise, 5 by 5. That's like what most people do when they're, building their strength up to get into weight training. 5 by 5. So 5 sets of 5 reps of whatever weight is challenging to you for every lift, for every body part, and keep doing that until you find sort of like where you stand when it comes to your level of strength. And then build upon that maybe by adding 2.5 pounds a week or every 2 weeks, and write it down to, log how strong you're actually getting. So you can have this as like a record and break your own personal records, what we call PRs in the bodybuilding and powerlifting world, right? So it also depends on what you want to do. If you want to be a bodybuilder, that's different. Your lifting is going to be a whole lot different and more centered around hypertrophy and growing the muscle, getting the pump, as opposed to powerlifting and strength training, where you're just putting up heavy numbers for a pretty low amount of reps in your compound lifts and just in general. All right. So it depends on what you actually want to do. But if you still have any other questions, you can definitely shoot me up a message on TikTok. You know what it is. She says, so Raluca says, thanks, bro. Um, I'm so happy getting into this. I'm just trying to just trying to lift heavy and get shredded. And my bad, I was just fucking up. My brain was farting because I'm in prep right now. I've got 7 weeks until the Natural National Pro qualifiers. So if you don't have me on YouTube, that's MATTBUTALE, Matt Butale. Hit me up. Give me a sub, turn on the post notif so you can actually see my content that comes out. And you know what it is, Raluca. Thank you so much for the follow. Much love, homegirl with the green heart. You know what's up. And I also appreciate each and every single one of you guys on TikTok. We're at 147 likes today. Thank you for showing up. Jermaine, I saw you over there on Facebook. What's good? And now on Instagram. Let's look over here. Instagram. Let's talk. Let's talk. All right. So shout out to everybody that showed up. He asked me, my boy Gurpreet said, what did you hit today? Well, I did legs. I didn't want to squat, but fuck it. I saw the barbell and I had to do it. So I did my front squats, finished off top set 15 pounds for I think only like 5 or 6 reps, 5 reps. Um, anyway, crushed the legs. Did cardio for 1 hour on the stair stepper. That shit was hard. And then I did sauna for about 20 minutes and posing for 30 minutes. So that's pretty much what I did today in the gym, bro. I hope you killed it today. I saw you, or I know you're not here right now. I know you're probably either in London or in India right now, but thanks for asking, bro. Lizzie, thanks for joining. I appreciate you. Styles, what's good? Tristan, what's up? Camille, what's good? So she asks me, "Do you eat fast food at all?" Yes, and then I love fast food. It's as weird as it sounds. If you go on my Instagram, it's gonna sound almost hypocritical that I say I love fast food because I don't look like I eat fast food. But that's just to show you the importance of macronutrients. You can still eat pizza, burgers, and cake, pies, whatever the fuck you want to eat, and look shredded. You just have to abide by your macronutrient properties and your caloric requirements. Simple. So yes, I do eat fast food, and more frequent than I actually should, but hey, right now I'm not because I'm getting ready for a show, and if it's different when you are aiming to be professional in the sport of bodybuilding, natural or not, and I am a natural competitor, but in this sort of what 7 weeks, 2 months, basically until the natural nationals, I don't play around with like eating fast food and things like that. I eat more of a controlled source of macronutrients, and that's simply because I want to remain consistent with what I'm putting into my body so that I know the amount of workload that I need to actually do in order to consistently burn fat and water and keep, if not grow muscle as I head towards this show. And that's pretty much it, right? So it gets pretty nitpicky for professional athletes or for athletes aspiring to compete professionally or national caliber athletes, right? So of course, what I'm saying probably is not going to apply to you unless you want to be a national caliber athlete or aspire to be a pro athlete one day, right? So take that with a grain of salt. And Bug, what's up? Tattoo, I see you. APAC Fit, what's good? Dylan, Bianca in the house, what's good? Tristan, what's up? Bianca says, and not to beat yourself up, if you slip a little bit, like you said, it's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Absolutely. I rarely slip. And I tell you, like, personally, I rarely slip because it's easy for me to know what I'm going to be eating, especially during prep, because every day is almost the same. Like I know the amount of macros is sort of fixed, the amount of calories is sort of fixed until I dip down a little bit. Then I would play with how much cardio I'm doing and how long I'm training or the intensity, things of that sort. But even when I do slip, I understand that it's not about being perfect; it's about being consistent. Okay, it's not about being perfect; it's about being consistent, and that's the number one thing that keeps me on track. Period. I can make as many mistakes as I want, but if I wake up and I fucking show up the next day, it's no problem. I can right my wrongs, no issue, right? And that's how you guys and girls should be thinking. And I'm like a national caliber athlete. I'm going to aim to be a professional, and I understand this. So ditch that perfection mindset, please. Uh, you know, just try. um, Issa, what's good? I see you, bro. Bianca also says practice makes progress, not perfection. Gabriel, what's good? I see you, man. Bianca says, how's your day going? By the way, she never fails to ask me how my day is going. My day is going amazing. A little bit lower on the energy side today, but we're still working. You get the work done, hit legs, did my hour cardio. Yeah, just fucking killing it. Just killing it, yo. Jason, what's good? Kevin, what's up? I see you. And I'm gonna read some of the comments here on TikTok. We didn't get any on YouTube today, but that's fine. Or not on TikTok, on Twitter. And then I think I got another one there on TikTok. And then I'll go back to that. All right. So my boy says keto or intermittent or both. I don't like keto, and none of my clients, eat keto in that fashion. They don't have a dietary program that is keto, and the reason why is because it teaches your body to use the fat ketones, which is essentially fat, as a main source of energy, right? Which I mean, most people would want to do, right? But your body will already do that if you consume carbohydrates, and you do a lot more cardio than you're not doing, and train a lot harder than you're probably not training. So it's a cheap scapegoat in my opinion for people to like be able to eat a whole bunch of all those foods that have are high in fats and desserts and all that stuff and get shredded on that. And they could definitely do that. Like keto does work for some people, but also for some people it could really flare up some health issues because not everybody's body is designed to use fat as ketone, fat bodies as a main source of energy to burn. um and again, when you decide to like have bread or carbs or pizza, it'll offload your body and you'll actually gain fat because your body is so used to using carbs or fat as an energy source that when you use carbs, glycogen almost won't even be processed the same way because you're like redoing your digestion. And I personally would never recommend it to anybody. None of my clients do it. I'm not a fan of it, but I know that it works for some people, and if I tried it, it could probably work for me because I do have low fat stores, but I'm just not interested. I would rather have balance. It's not sustainable keto, in my opinion, because again, the moment you start to eat like bread and carbs and pizza, like, do you want to give up pizza and shit? Like, nah, I would never do keto, and I would never tell my clients to do it. That's fucking torture. Intermittent fasting, it works. It's up to you. Like, I technically enforce intermittent fasting when it comes to my cardio when I wake up. Sometimes I'll do fasted cardio for like 1 hour, or 30 minutes, whatever it is, like depending on where I am in the year and how close I am to a show. Fasted cardio, which is in a sense intermittent fasting, you'd be fasted for whatever, 2, 4, 8, 6 hours, and go without a meal, just drinking water up until that point where you ingest your meal. It's not like a holy grail. It's not like the thing you should focus on. What you should focus on more is adequate nutrition, doing your cardio and training really hard, and like really making an effort in the gym, especially in the cardio aspect. But intermittent fasting definitely can be convenient if you're really busy and want your body to still work for you. All right. Um, and weight building, use weight workouts. I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm guessing that you're talking about like weighted workouts versus like body weight. Depends on what you can do. Okay, like that just depends on what you can do. If you can do body weight workouts and get results from that, start doing that. But as you get more advanced, you realize that like unless you want to do calisthenics or do gymnastics, it's not necessary to train with only your body weight. And you're actually limited with the amount of workouts that you can actually do and the strength that you have the potential to gain. So yeah, if you are a noob, if you are a rookie, if you're 100% brand new to this whole entire game, um, start with body weights, learn how to do the compounds like the pull-ups and things like that. But then definitely get into the, actually training with weights. That's what I'd recommend. When he said facts, LMAO, you and Pop Tarts. Yeah, I fuck with Pop Tarts and Rice Krispies. You know what's good. And yeah, yo, that's what's up. Homie says, so last chance says, how bad is Subway? It's not bad. It's not like, and this is gonna sound weird. It's like I can even go away and say McDonald's is not bad. Of course, we know McDonald's is bad. But as I said, I know you tuned in sort of late here, so you don't really know where we're coming from. But essentially, if you can make Subway fit into your macronutrients and still abide by your caloric requirements, it's not bad. You can eat Subway. It's not like eating Subway is going to make you fat. It's not like having a pizza is going to make you fat. It's You have to be able to know enough to incorporate it into your macronutrients and have it respect your caloric requirements to lose weight so you can keep that fat off. And if it's something that's too difficult for you, coaches exist. Shameless plug. Hi, I'm a coach. Um, all right. So Bianca says, honestly, the kind of fasting that I ever did was the Islamic way of fasting. I did that for a while a few years ago because because I was curious. It did help me lose weight. Of course it will, yeah, because when you fast, your body's going to use its own internal storages for energy, like mainly fat is going to be the first to go. Then your glycogen will deplete and muscle will go after. Of course, water weight will go down with both tissues. And for those of you guys and girls that don't know, again, it's not it's not for no reason. It's not for any reason in particular is what I'm gonna say. But yeah, my faith is I'm actually Muslim, right? So I haven't been fasting recently, and I guess I've been bad for that. And I'm just gonna be honest with you guys and girls. But I definitely noticed the same thing. I was actually doing freestyle wrestling around the time I was fasting, and would notice rapid weight loss. Right, intermittent fasting does work, but having an adequate nutrition is just better because you have the ability to retain, if not gain, muscle as you burn fat at the same time. Right, so that's why I personally, like that. But yeah, definitely I can relate to what you said there, Bianca, because I remember fasting for several years of my life during Ramadan. So yeah, yo, you know what's good. Kevin says, "Love the content, brother. When do you recommend to change slash play around with macros?" So, and first of all, I appreciate you, Kevin, and thank you for actually tuning in, showing up, asking a question instead of being like a sitting duck. I fucking appreciate the hell out of that. Um, what I would say for like the macros, like, what would you recommend to change slash play around with macros, or when would be like the time? The time would be dependent on your physique, on your body, on your progress. So like if you hit a plateau, it's and you stay at that plateau for like a week or a week and a half, 2 weeks, and you're still working out just as hard, I would recommend first doing a little bit more cardio and bringing up your intensity and strength in the gym. So like add maybe 5 pounds to all of your lifts and do an extra 10 minutes of cardio. And if you're doing that and you still haven't broke through your plateau, then I would focus on changing macros. And the only other time than that I would focus on changing my macros is, and again, this is like me specifically, is if I'm like actually getting ready to go to a show. Because of course you need to like make weight, be stage shredded, not just lean, but stage shredded, and your macros are gonna have to switch in prep season, right? So those are the only two times I would really, change my macros. But before I change my macros, and if I'm in a plateau, and even if my clients are in a plateau, before they change their macros, the first thing we do is increase cardio. After the cardio is increased and nothing's really coming off, then we increase the actual volume, like what they're lifting in the gym and how much they're lifting. their reps and sets and so on and so forth. And if they're like just starting to break that plateau, or they're not breaking that plateau at all, or give them a refeed, give them or that or a diet break for the whole week. And a diet break is like a week where you're just not calculating macros or anything, just to give you a mental break, and then get back into it a little bit more aggressive, okay, and keep the cardio higher and keep the training more intense, and then we'll break through that plateau after a diet break for a week or 3 days, or maybe even a free meal within that week, depending on the client. It's really case dependent, but that is a really good question, Kevin, and I really do love the fact that you asked that. Suki, what's good? I see you there. And Jason, thank you so much for the love on TikTok. We're at 580 likes. I really do love and appreciate each and every single one of you guys on all the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm grateful for each and every single one of you for always showing up no matter what, even though my time's been a bit dodgy this prep. All right, so that's it. That's all, guys and girls. We were rolling at 35 minutes for today. And believe it or not, that's actually on the shorter side, but we had to do what we had to do. And I am starving like hell. Jason, I appreciate the follow. Thank you so much. Um, but yeah, guys and girls, just another shameless plug. I do have a YouTube channel, and we actually talk about what I do when I meal prep in my off season. Typically, that video was recorded in my off season. And if you want to check that out, hit up my YouTube account, MATT space BUTALE, Matt Butale. Hit me up on YouTube. Check out my videos. If you want to learn a thing or two, drop a comment or two. Let me know what you want to see in the future, and I will definitely 100%, listen to you guys and girls. Give you guys what you want to see, what you want to hear about, what you want to learn. You know what it is. Again, 750 likes, 758 likes on TikTok. Fucking amazing. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys and girls. We are out. All right. Have yourselves a sick ass Thursday. You know what it is. All right. Have a great day yourself, Bianca. And I'm going to have a good evening. I'm going to eat. I'm going to fucking eat. I'm so hungry. Y'all can't see it. All right, yo. You know what it is. Later, Instagram. We out. TikTok. Peace. Thank you. Facebook. We out the cut. And Twitter. We are out. Woo. That was a stream and a half. All right, YouTube, back again tomorrow. You know what's good. We out.